Hello, everybody. Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Okay, in the previous session, we have learned about the constraints topic. What are these constraints? Why we use the constraints?
Which is used to check the current data inside the table.
Sorry, Ashwini, your voice is too low.
Hello.
Yeah,
Constraints are used to check the current data inside the table.
yeah. Constraints are used to restrict the invalid data into the database table or to check that the valid data is storing into the database table or not. What are all the types of constraints we have, Srikanth?
Not null constraint, primary key, unique key, and default.
No, that is the description of the table. In the description of the table, we are going to get all those columns. I asked what are the types of constraints. We have 5 types of constraint. I explained yesterday. Not null, unique, check constraint,
Yes.
primary key constraint, and foreign key constraint, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, yesterday I have given you the task to prepare the table, to create the table. All are done with that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, everybody. What about others?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then no doubts in creating the table, right?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay, then we'll continue with the notes today. Okay, I think I need to give the notes from character data type, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Take down the heading as character data type. In that first point, character is a fixed length string. Character is a fixed length string. Full stop. If a column is assigned with character data type, if a column is assigned with character data type, then that column should accept then that column should accept then that column should accept the following values. Then that column should accept the following values. Take down these values in the next one. A to Z in uppercase, A to Z in lowercase, 0 to 9 any numbers, and also some of the special characters.
Ma'am, can you please repeat second point?
Yeah, sure. If a column is assigned with character data type, then that column should accept the following values. That is take down these values. Done. Then in the next point, take down the syntax. Char parenthesis, inside the parenthesis mention size. This is the syntax for character data type. Then next point, in character data type, the size of character parameter in character data type, the size of character parameter specifies the column length, from 0 to 255. Specifies the column length from 0 to 255 and default value is 1. Full stop. Next, drawbacks. Drawbacks or limitations of character data type. Drawbacks or limitations of character data type. In that first point, allocated memory block, which are not utilized, which are not utilized, is considered when it is considered as a space. Allocated memory block which are not utilized when it is considered as a space. Full stop. Next point. Character is a fixed length memory allocation. Character is a fixed length memory allocation. Done?
Can you repeat one
Yes,
more
ma'am.
time? Allocated memory block.
Sorry.
Please
Which-
repeat.
The
Allocated
last
memory.
point?
Yeah.
Okay. Allocated memory block which are not utilized. Allocated memory block which are not utilized when considered as a space. When considered as a space. Next point. Character is a fixed length memory allocation. Character is a fixed length memory allocation. Done?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next, take down the heading as variable character data type. Variable character data type. In that first point, if column is assigned with varchar data type, if column is assigned with varchar data type, then the column can accept letters, numbers, and also special characters. Letters, numbers, and also special characters. Next point, take down the syntax. Next point, the size parameter specify the maximum column length. The size parameter specify the maximum column length of 0 to 65,535. The size parameter specify the maximum column length of 0 to 65,535. Full stop. Next point, var character data type is variable length of memory allocation. Var character data type is variable length of memory allocation. Full stop. Next, advantages of var character data type. In that first point, the allocated memory block which are not utilized, it will be considered as a null. The allocated memory block which are not utilized, it will be considered as a null. Full stop. Hence, we can utilize this in future. Next point, var character is variable length of memory allocation. Var character is variable length of memory allocation. Done.
Ma'am, variable length of
Memory allocation.
done.
Done. Okay. Next, take down the heading as difference between character data type and var character data type. Difference between. Yeah.
What are the drawback of factor?
There is no drawback. To overcome the drawback of character data type only, we are using var character data type.
Okay.
Okay. We are not going to use the character data type. It is there, it is considered as a data type, but we are not going to use it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Take down the heading as difference between character data type and var character data type. Then make a 2 columns. One side character data type and the other side var character data type. First point in the character data type, it is abbreviated as character data type. It is abbreviated as character data type. First point in the varchar data type side, it is abbreviated as variable character data type. It is abbreviated as variable character data type. Then second point in the character data type, unallocated memory block, unallocated memory block is treated as space. Unallocated memory block is treated as space which will consume memory. Unallocated memory block is treated as space which will consume memory. In the var character data type side, unallocated memory block is treated as null. Unallocated memory block is treated as null, which will not consume memory. Unallocated memory block is treated as null, which will not consume memory. Next point in the character data type side, it is a fixed length of memory allocation. It is a fixed length of memory allocation. It is a fixed length of memory allocation. In the var character data type side, it is a variable length of memory allocation. It is a variable length of memory allocation. Next point in the character data type side, it uses static memory allocation. It uses static memory allocation. In the var character data type side, it uses dynamic memory allocation. It uses dynamic memory allocation. Next point, in the character data type, it can hold maximum of 255 characters. It can hold maximum of 255 characters in the var character data type. It can hold maximum of 65,535 characters. It can hold maximum of 65,535 characters. Done?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next data type, that is number data type. Take down the heading as number data type. In that first point, if column is assigned with number data type, if column is assigned with, if column is assigned with number data type, comma, then that column can accept, then that column can accept only a number. Then that column can accept only a number. Full stop. Next point. Number data type can accept, number data type can accept, number data type can accept integer or floating value. Number data type can accept integer or floating value. Next point. If number data type is, if number data type is having, if number data type is having only one argument, if number data type is having only one argument, then it can accept, then it can accept only integer values. If number data type is having only one argument, then it can accept only integer values. Full stop. Next point. If number data type, if number data type having, if number data type is having, if number data type is having two arguments, if number data types is having two arguments, then it can accept floating value. Then it can accept floating value. In the next line, types of number data type. Types of number data type. First one is integer. First one is integer. For that, take down this example, which I am typing. Done with the example? Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then take down the next data number data type, that is double. Second one is double data type. In that, take this example. Done?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then take down the next data type, that is date data type. Date data type. In that, if a column is assigned with date data type, if a column is assigned with date data type, then that column can accept. If a column is assigned with date data type, then that column then that column can accept date values can accept date values. Full stop. Full stop. In Oracle, in Oracle, default display date format is in Oracle default um, in Oracle default date format is in Oracle default date format is take down this format. First, you should mention the if you are assigned a data type for the column has like date data type, then you should write it within the double quotes, and the format is first you should mention the year, then month, and then at last date. Then take down the example has today's date, 2024 second 28th. Then next, take down the format for time. Time you should mention first hour, then minute, then seconds. Then after that, mention that take the format of year. Just mentioning, if you are mentioning just a year, then you can mention only the year. Then date and time. If you want to mention both date and time, then you can mention in this way. Okay, in MySQL, in the data types, we have totally 4 types of data types. First one is character data type, second one is variable character data type, and the third one is number, and fourth one is date data type. First one is character data type. This character data type contains some of the limitations. So to overcome those limitations, we are going to use this variable character data type while writing the queries or creating the table or inserting the values into the table. Okay. So this var character data type, since it is a variable character, it will accept variable length of string, and also it has a maximum column length of 0 to 65,535 characters it can hold. And while if we are writing the var character data type, or if we assigned a column with var character data type, then we should insert the values in the within the by using within the double quotes or single quotes. Okay. Then if we leave any space, or if we are not utilizing any of the cell of the table, then in the variable character data type, if we assign a varchar data type into that column, it will not consider it has a space, it will consider it has a null value, and we can use it in the future, and it is not going to consume any memory. Then we have the number data type. In this number data type, we have 2 types of number data type. First one is integer data type, and the second one is double data type. Integer data type for whole number, and the double data type is for decimal numbers. Okay. Then the last one is date data type. To consider the date values into the table, we are using this date data type. It has some standard format. We should write the values. While giving the values, we should follow this format. Clear everybody with the data types?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then take down the heading as constraints. Constraints. In that, constraints are rules of validation. Constraints are rules of validation which are used to check. Constraints are rules of validation which are used to check the correct data inside the table. Which are used to check the correct data inside the table. Constraints are rules of validation which are used to check the correct data, which are used to check the correct data inside the table. Full stop. Take down another definition. Constraints are rules of validation. Constraints are rules of validation which restrict. Constraints are rules of validation which restrict which restrict invalid data into the table, which restrict invalid data into the table. Full stop. Next, write down types of constraints. Types of constraints. In that, first one, not null constraint. Not null constraint. Second one, unique constraint. Unique constraint. Third one, check constraint. Check constraint. Fourth one, primary key constraint. Primary key constraint. Fifth one, foreign key constraint. Foreign key constraint. Now take down the first constraint, that is not null constraint. Not null constraint. In that, if column is assigned with not null constraint, if column is assigned with not null constraint, then that column will not accept null values. If column is assigned with not null constraint, then that column will not accept null values. Full stop. Next point. And also that column will not accept empty spaces, and also that column will not accept empty spaces, comma, it should contain any values. It should contain any values. It should contain any values. But that column can accept duplicate values. But that column can accept duplicate values. Next one is unique constraint. Take down the heading as unique constraint. In that, if column is assigned with unique constraint, if column is assigned with unique constraint, then that column will accept unique values. Then that column will accept unique values but not duplicate values. But not duplicate values. Full stop. Unique constraints can accept null values. Unique constraints can accept null values. Done?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Take down the next constraint, that is check constraint. Check constraint. In this first point, check constraint is used to limit the value range. Check constraint is used to limit the value range that can be placed in a column. That can be placed in a column. Check constraint is used to limit the value range that can be placed in a column. Full stop. Next point. Check is an additional validation. Check is an additional validation given by the constraints. Check is an additional validation given by the constraints based on the requirements. Given by the constraints based on the requirements. Full stop. Take down the next constraint, that is primary key constraint. Primary key constraint. In that, the combination of not null, and unique constraint, the combination of not null and unique constraint is called primary key constraint. Is called primary key constraint. In full stop. Continue in the next line. A column or attribute, which is mandatory, a column or attribute which is mandatory, and it should consist of distinct values. It should consist of distinct values, that is combination of not null and unique constraint. That is combination of not null and unique constraints. Comma, those columns will be eligible to become primary key. Those columns will be eligible to become primary key. Full stop. Then after this, take down the heading as characteristics of primary key. Characteristics of primary key. Characteristics of primary key. In that first point, primary key is a type of constraint. Primary key is a type of constraint which is used to identify. Primary key is a type of constraint which is used to identify the records of the table uniquely. Which is used to identify the records of the table uniquely. What we'll call as the records of the table?
Rows of the table.
Yeah. Okay. Next point. Primary key is a combination of not null and unique constraint. Primary key is a combination of not null and unique constraint. Next point. If a column is assigned with not null and unique constraint, if a column is assigned with not null and unique constraint, then that column is eligible to become primary key. Then that column is eligible to become primary key. Full stop. Next point. If a column is assigned with primary key constraint, if a column is assigned with primary key constraint, then that column cannot accept. If a column is assigned with primary key constraint, then that column cannot accept duplicate values and null values. Then that column cannot accept duplicate values and null values. Next point. If a table contains primary key, if a table contains primary key, then that table is called as a master table or parent table. If a table contains primary key, then that table then that table is called as master table or parent table. Next point. A table can have only one primary key. A table can have only one primary key. Next, write down types of primary key. Types of primary key. In that first one, candidate key. Columns which are all eligible to become a primary key. Columns which are all eligible to become primary key is called as candidate key. Full stop. Next type is alternative key. In that, columns which are all eligible to become a primary key. Columns which are all eligible to become primary key, but not chosen as a primary key. But not chosen as a primary key. Is called as alternative key. Done?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Take down the next heading. Foreign key constraint. In that first point, it is used to create relationship between the tables. It is used to create relationship between the tables. Full stop. Next point. A table which contains foreign key. A table which contains foreign key. Is called as child table. Is called as child table. full stop. Next point. Foreign key column can accept duplicate values and null values, but it cannot accept the values which are not present in the primary key column. It cannot accept the values which are not present in the primary key column. Cannot accept the values which are not present in the primary key column. In constraints are mainly used to restrict the invalid data to get into the database table. So we are using totally 5 types of constraints here. First one is not null constraint, which if we assign this constraint into a particular column, it won't accept the null value. And the second one is unique constraint. Here, if we assign this unique constraint, it is not going to accept the duplicate values. The value should be unique. And the third one is check constraint. To give the limit or the range of values, to use a range of values, we are going to use this check constraint, but it is an additional one. If we have a requirement, then only we are going to use this check constraint. Then the next one is primary key constraint. Primary key constraint means instead of using both not null and unique constraint, we are going to use this primary key constraint because it is a combination of both not null and unique constraint. This primary key constraint, if a table contains primary key constraint, then we can call the table as master table or parent table. And in one table only, we can use the primary key constraint once. Okay. And there are 2 types of primary key constraint, candidate key and the alternative key. Candidate key means the columns which are all eligible to become primary key constraint. Those we can call those columns as candidate key. And the alternative key means the columns which are eligible to become primary key, but we are not choosing them as a primary key columns. Okay, those columns we are going to call as alternative key. Then the last one is foreign key constraint. Foreign key constraint is mainly used to create a relationship between the table. If a table contains foreign key constraint, then that table is called as child table. Understood? Constraints and data types topic.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Just give me a minute.